All right, we good? Good. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is part two of the beginner. Hopefully, my announcement was actually the one that I intended. Let's see. Anyways, where we left off last time was at we were at the dictionary and do that. We had zebra, which, if you recall, if we were the cat, hello world, very end was using this line. Yeah, actually, already I want to kind of get that back. But so I decided to start a new file for part two. So we're going to cover part two right here, loops, which are these three things, functions, and start to get into objects, but not super heavy. I mean, like I said, I'm not too familiar with objects with Python, which would be good for me to kind of brush up on it. But a lot of the things that we're going to be doing in Code Wars and really in coding game as well, and I'll start doing those tags. You don't really need to know objects. I mean, you need to be aware of them. You need to know how to use them, how to use their functions, stuff like that. But like at the same time, it doesn't. Yeah, we'll try to go over it. But anyways, before I do anything else, I want to do the insert, do the pound sign, exclamation point, slash bin, slash Python. Oh geez. Okay, so that initiates at that. I want to do escape, set number. Okay, so set number for set lines, like number lines, line numbers. Um, I was having an issue trying to take it back off, but I kind of like having it on there. So that's what is one of the main benefits of having for a lot of IDEs or integrated development environments such as like Eclipse, Cape, that JetBeans one. There's several. There's like PyCharm, PyCode, stuff like that. But anyways, for Vim has it. So you don't have to sacrifice the line numbers. All right. So let's just get back into it. Let's clear this up. Um, so we now have part two. So if you LL, oops, we have not written anything. So we'll just print, oops, yeah, insert mode, compiled, even though it's just done by the interpreter. But anyways, so write it and chmod part, oops, and also we need to do plus x part two. There we go. So now if we did an LL, we'll see not only was the file created, it is also now an executable. So clear that. We do part two, compiled. See, so we have a nice, oh, sorry, that might be a little loud, but so we have a nice little confirmation. That's the whole point of line two. Just a little print statement say, it could have said, anything, zebra, whatever. So now that very simple, but because we have line one, we can get away with just doing a dot slash executable name. Oh geez, that was loud. Yeah, Python. Hello, welcome to the. I'm sorry if you commented a while ago. I haven't had this up, but yeah, welcome to the stream. We're just doing some basics. On my last one, I went through this stuff, and I wanted to get into this just so I can start doing. What I did last night was an actual coding game, like code challenge walkthroughs. So, alright. So without more to do, let's do insert. Let's go into loops. So, oops. Let's see the. Actually, let's go ahead and comment that out. We don't need that anymore. And then do end. Jump to the end. There. All right. So do a basic for loop. Um, let's go ahead. Oh, nice. Thanks for the follow, time traveler. So all right. And to use in the loop, let's actually do a string. So like do like string var equals hello. All right. So a simple string, kind of like our hello world stuff we were doing last time. Then we can do for char in string var, and And this basically, and then notice it does the indentation. This means for every single one, let's just do a basic print statement for each char. Just print char, which char stands for character in this situation. And yeah, so now if we were to write that, execute it. Oh, whoops. See, spelling error. Var. And, oh nice, thanks for the follow, Felix. A lot of follows doing this, which is cool, because this is what I originally intended with streaming. Like, I wanted to do coding stuff. So, alright, now let's try it. Get rid of that error message. I'll just pretend that didn't happen. Hello. See, so for every character, or every, and this is an iterable, or a variable that's created on the fly. So in this line, it's created, declared, and set to each single character contained in this string object. And this is actually an object. So this is kind of like our first introduction to using object variables. Strings are definitely objects. Integers are not. They're called what you consider primitive variables. So, yeah. So we got string var for each character. It prints it out, and it prints a new line. It adds a new line. There's a way print it all on one line. I think the easiest way would be like insert declare another variable. Would be like new string equals set it empty. And we could do new string plus equals char dot upper. So there's a nice example of using a built-in method. I hope that works. It didn't change colors like I think, but let's give it a whirl and see if there isn't anything we have to fix. But oh, and then also we need to at the end. Oops. Outside of the for loop, so now we're unindented. We could do print new string just to see. Oh wow, a lot of followers. All right, so print new string, and then written. Go ahead and clear this. There you go. See, so now an interesting thing happened. We applied the uppercase method. So in Python, and also, by the way, Google foo is really important with all of this. So if you don't understand something that's going on, or you need to look something up a little further in depth, definitely just type it into Bing, Google, whatever search engine you want. But if you were to search on upper, then, or just do uppercase Python, keep it simple, it would tell you that it would change whatever this is. So this is plus equals, so this is adding the character, the char, after it's had this applied to it, making it uppercase. So this is why you see hello, all uppercase, when we print it out. And again, this is all just lines of code. There's no real format like functions, which we're going to get into real soon. But yeah, so that's the first way to do a loop. Well, one of the ways. Then if we go back in here, do home, comment. Well, it's code, so I'll just leave it like that. And actually, I'm going to comment this as well, just because that's going to print out every time. Let's go and clear that. So now we can experiment with a while loop. So while, and actually for this we need a little preparation. I usually like to create index or count or something. So we'll just set that to 5, just an int. So while index greater than 0. So as long as this condition is met, this loop will execute. Now this is where you got to be careful, because this is your first introduction to infinite loops. So and whatever we do up there, that's fine and dandy, but we want to make sure we take index and we decrement it, so minus equals 1 every time that loop executes. So, I mean, just to show you that it's working, we could do print the string of index. So then we'll see a string version, which again, this one doesn't seem to mind whether it's a string variable or not. You don't need to cast it apparently, but I guess. All right, let's see what this does. So now we're back to did this not for while print. All right, well, that's interesting. So, should print out the, oh, I didn't write. That's why nothing changed. Okay, so there we go. Got rid of all the other text, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then once it was equal to 0, it no longer satisfied line 15, and so it broke out of the loop and terminated. Now, let's go ahead and do it. Um, I'll show you what an infinite loop looks like. So if you do have this happen, not to worry. So we're going to go and clear this. You will see the program, it should hang, or it should continue to print out, print out, print out, print out. Do Control C. That will cancel it, kill the process, exit out of the infinite loop. As you can see, we've got, scroll bar, tons and tons of fives. So that just kept, so we can just do clear, and it's like it never happened. So also, if you want to make sure that your program isn't still there, you can do top and actually throw that back up here. This is still an insert mode, so top, top. Top is good because it can show you what's going on. This is like your command, or what is it? Task manager, sorry, for Windows. And I don't know what it is for Apple, but this is a good thing. And then also same thing, Control C. Or a lot of times you do top and then you do Q. So Q for quit, just like the manual pages. So anyways, that's a nice little digression there. But we have loops now. Now the do while, I believe, doesn't exist in Python. I want to say it doesn't. So let's this, did it freeze? No. All right. Huh. Right, so I don't know if it actually shows it on there, but let's see. I think that froze. No, we can still do stuff on here. I'm actually gonna exit, control, oh, exit as a function. There we go. So we got part two. Let's go ahead and bin part two. Oh, whoops, I actually do a quit. It's not a good idea to open it when you already have it. Go ahead and just kill that. Oh, is this going to take... it's never a good idea to continually click things, except for when you see... Oh, there we go. New window. There we go. CD stream, Python. I think it's in... Oh, yeah. Level 0. So we're doing the intro. Clear, ls. There we go. Then part 2. Okay. All that roundabout just to get to there. So anyways. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and comment that out. So now we'll get rid of that print statement, but that's how those loops work. Now a do while, I put that in there because it does exist in things like Java and C++. Basically, it's just while. See, it doesn't even change. The do stays white. It doesn't exist, but it'd be do while, and then usually in like Java it has a parenthesis and then a condition index less than or is greater than 0. And basically what that would mean is do it one time, no matter what, regardless if this is true or not. You at least do the code once and then that. So they decided it wasn't necessary. I mean, as long as you pay attention to your indices, like your index, how many times you're iterating through, keep control of that. You're good. You don't need to do while, so it's irrelevant. So yeah, but that's loops. I mean, and I really like the for loop. There's a few ways you can do that. Actually, we're still in insert. Let's do for. Oops. In the correct window. Oh, please don't be doing this. Every window except for this one. I think that one just keeps freezing. Um, dang. quit, abort. Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh well, we're getting to the end here, so let's go ahead and see streams. Ah, jeez, still not going. All right. Apologies. We could just create a new file. Let's see. Vim part 2b dot py. Insert found in Python. All right, and then so functions. So when you're making functions, you want to use the words declare or no defining. So that's where you get the keyword def. Test. We'll just do test for test function, or well, we'll do test func. I mean, just so we know it's unique. It's not some built-in tool already. We're going to do no parameters and in the colon, and notice it indents for us. Print made, created, whatever. I mean, so, and then, well, I'll go ahead and show it. So if we're over here, ls chmod, oh wait, yeah, chmod part 2, and it's going to ask, oh wait, and also plus x part, it'll, oh, it picked it up. Interesting. All right, so now, see that part 2b, like that. There, it asks us, do you want the B1 or the regular? There we go. And there you go. It runs, but it doesn't do anything. So the thing with functions is, this is all fine and dandy to define a function like this, but what you want to do, go back to insert, make sure at the edge. Now you need to call it. So test func. And say, hey, do this function. Let's see, it should, yep. So then it does execute the code in there. So the only way that that code executes, and you need to have it up above here, just like declaring variables. You need to declare your function so your Python, well, your computer knows what's going on. So what is test func? Well, it's right here. We've already seen it. And all it does is it calls the print function, which now we see the print, it has a similar definition like this. This takes no parameters, which we don't give it any. Yeah, but say we wanted to involve parameters, like let's just do num1, num2, because a lot of your basic first functions will be addition, subtraction, stuff like that. Yeah, and then in here we could do print num1 colon, then I'm kind of curious, num1, if this is actually going to work. And here we have to change what we're calling it with. 5, 3. Doesn't really matter. We're just going to see if we can get a 5 to print after that, or if it's going to have a bug. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it freaks out about it. It says int, not a string, cannot concatenate. All right, so we are using the plus sign. So now, to get around that, go I for insert again, do str to cast it, and then add another parenthesis. Sometimes that gets tricky. The parenthesis might get absorbed if you type it right before, so try going outside. And just make sure that you see 2 there, you got your 1 there, then your second one there. So now that it has 5, 3, let's go ahead and save it. Oops, clear, try this again. There. So we have num1 colon 5. So it interpreted it as a string because of the cast. It concatenated it to this string. So this is what you call a hard code. So instead of using a variable or something, elsewhere, this is actually like hard coding, filling in exactly what you want for that situation. So, and that's how you call a function. So you can define a function, but you have to do it up above. And that also includes import. So I know for a lot of the stuff we did last night, we had to import sys for system. So now, And that kind of even goes a little more complex because then we have like a main function and all that good stuff. So yeah, so that's your first function. Let's go ahead and make a, I think we could define another one. So define adder and then have num1, num2. Also, a good thing to point out, variables don't matter if they fall out of scope. So the fact that we named this num1 and num2, these variables, so you can do that. Same with using I for indices. A lot of other languages use that for for loops, stuff like that. But yeah, you can reuse variables as long as it's not in scope anymore. Like if this was a, well, you wouldn't define a function within a function, but if this was a piece of code declaring this inside this function where this still existed, yeah, you'd have an issue. But these fall out of scope once this function terminates and returns, well, it'll probably return like 0 or 1 or some kind of variable value just saying it was successful, unless you specifically declare, sometimes this messes with it, need to specifically declare or return something. So even though it won't actually print, unless you say print test func, then it would print 0 because it would print whatever was returned from this. Um, as it is, though, it does print that, like we see, just because it calls the print function, because that's, well, that's the only code in there. Also, well, I was going to put line numbers back on, but I wonder if that might have been part of what was, who knows. So, all right, so adder, real simple, we could return num1 plus num2. So whatever it's fed in, let's go ahead and call it. So adder 1 and 2. Okay. Some of you might already be thinking, no, there's going to be an issue. You know what? So yeah, it did not print because you're returning it. So in order to get it to print to the console, you would have to actually wrap it in a print function to say, hey, print whatever is returned from this. Also, it might have an issue because we are returning an int plus an int. Let's go ahead and see. Sometimes it does, like when we tried to concatenate it or add it. All right, didn't have an issue that time. Even though we got returned an int, it casted it to a string when it called the print function. So for whatever reason, I'm going to clear that up just to show. There you go. It added 1 plus 2, real simple, and you can do that. That works for all of the basic math functions. Those are, like I said, often the first things that people do. Sub or subbed, and then num1, or you could do var1 if you wanted to do that as well. A lot of people do that, but usually I try to do like numbers when you're working with numbers specifically, or chars for characters, word for words, sentences, something that makes sense. But and you can, well, we'll do this real quick. So num1, since that's out of scope, we can use it again. Num2, um, colon, turn minus num2. And it's a little confusing when, because that's one of the first things that a lot of classes will tell you. Like they'll explain that mathematical operations work in Python, but that's not really helpful. It's just like, hey, this works. Well, okay, cool, but how does it work? Like, so it's only useful when you frame it a certain way. So we've got this returning. Well, so this one just tells you, okay, what's in spot one? Let's just print it. So that one we don't have to wrap it in. But this one, it returns them added together. This one returns it subtracted from the second one subtracted from the first one. In fact, let's go ahead and so we're still in insert. Let's do a separate one. So print subs. We'll do 10, yeah, 20. Just make it random. And then I want to take that one out so don't keep it cluttered. All right. Same with this. Let's clear that out. Let's run it. Oh, oh, double parentheses. See, I think that got absorbed, or I just didn't press it twice. So, anyways, clear it out. Run it again. -10. See, so that returned the correct answer. Didn't do anything fancy, no razzle dazzle because you didn't format it to. Whereas here, you actually did a print function of, your own text in response, or you could also do return some text and then cast it, whatever you want to do. There's multiple ways to get it done, but that's your basic function. Now, objects, the easiest object to talk about is strings, basically, but an object refers to a lot of different things. You could have student objects, depending on what you're coding. You could have employee objects if you're making software for like HR or employee records, stuff like that. And you might want different functions like this contained within that. So to make objects in Python, it's the same as, or very similar to Java, C++. You have to make a file for it. I believe called a class file. We won't go too deep into it because, I haven't really done a lot yet, but as I do more, I will. But after 360 challenges and code wars, I intend to like go over most of them. I really didn't use objects, maybe like one or two. So but strings as objects, that's really interesting. So let's go ahead and, so we have this function doing that. In our other file, we had some stuff working with that, but let's do um, uh, string var equals, this is a string. All right, so we have a string, and then we can do the for loop, char and string var print char dot upper. Okay, so again, this is just like the example of what we did. Oh wait, so, okay. So this is a string. Then upper, you can also do lower. So that would take this to lowercase. That's only one, so that would change that. But the point I make up with strings are, since it's also an object, it has um, uh, functions within it and things you can also do. Um, actually, let's just go ahead and print len string bar. And let's go and take this back out. Basically, I want to get to, so this should show, try, oh, if you have an empty, it doesn't like that. So let's just go ahead and comment the whole loop out. There we go. Now 25. Let's do, there is no 25. Print, although I see what it's talking about though. Need extra, oh come on, extra parentheses. Okay. There we go. All right, so the length of that string is 16. So what you can also do, let's go ahead and do its own line, is what's called slicing. Whoops, not taking parentheses like that line. So print string var, then those square brackets, let's do 2, 8. Then parentheses, and then we'll go ahead and take that back out. And then what else? We can also comment out the call to a function. So we can leave the function alone, just take out the call to it. Oh, geez. Something happened. Um, oh wow, sorry, there's been some some comments. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Wolf? And was this a raid? Oh dang. So I'm actually working on tutorials because I've started doing streams for coding game. I'm gonna be working on some challenges. They're actually doing a season one, which I won't stream that. I'll probably post those videos later. But for right now, I'm just doing this. Just working on getting people geared up to watch videos of the challenges I've done. So then to answer your question, Bob, yeah, I've done 360 challenges for Code Wars. So it's for my personal portfolio, just for careers and stuff. But I wanted to get into explaining it. Kind of, I used to tutor people in college, so yeah, I just have fun doing it. Plus, it helps me with my understanding of stuff too. Like the more I do this, like I mean, especially with this, like objects, I'm gonna need to go back and revisit that, like class files, stuff like that. Also, just realized this is a do while. Yeah. But anyways, so just working on random stuff. And actually, I'm finishing up with part two. I just did a stream. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to do insert. But yeah, I did basic Linux in the last one, like an hour and a half. We're at a good half hour now. But yeah, so but hopefully it's gonna get a lot. Oh, and then this is the website too. So I did a written version of OSCS, so Open Source Computer Science, which is a side project I've been doing. So computer science. Um, Yeah. So I want to, and I'm actually working on getting this translated. It'll be translated into Arabic, Vietnamese, and Spanish, hopefully. I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but I know Arabic for sure. I've got a lot of friends over there that offered to help me with that. And I figured out how to do it too. So if you go to that website, it's basically just a web development, the IO. So it's like an application, but it's really handy. It's really cool. It's got your HTML, your CSS, and your JavaScript all side by side. So it makes it really easy for editing stuff. And yeah, that's actually what I'm working on. I'm pretty much done with this. So, let's see, right at half an hour. Might just keep going with the Code Wars. 'Cause I have a few of those pulled up. And then yeah. So if anyone has any questions, I'll try to pay a little more attention to the stream. I gotta pull this up, have it over the console. But yeah, I mean, any concepts like things that we talked about, you want more examples. But basically, yeah, I wanted to do this so people could follow along with my streams of doing these. So if we go, so these are all the ones that we did last night, and I did them at like 1 in the morning. So all of those, in fact, let's do a list view. And that's why, when I'm just flying around typing in Linux commands, like, I mean, hopefully, like, I'm sure a lot of people are already familiar with it, but for those that aren't, that way they're not confused. Like, what's he typing? What's the CDLS? Stuff like that. So that's why I did this first. The Linux section, which I should, there. And I'll just leave the website up too, because that basically has everything for Java. But before I wrote everything for Python, I wanted to do it this way. So, if we check out like just cat character counter um, without the period dot py. Oh, there's a py and a text. That's why. Sorry. Yeah, this is what we did last night. So, but I was just doing all this stuff and doing dictionaries without really explaining what those were, using all that stuff. Let's see. So was going to look up, I have password hashes up, but as far as the ones that I've done, here we go, one's complement. So we'll go ahead and make it text. Let's do cd string. Oh, this one's still crashing. So, all right, well, do um, so one's complement. So do them txt insert. There. So basically, this is a challenge that I did. It's a level 7, so it's one of the easy ones. It goes 8 down to 1. So 1 complement. This is just the text file to have pulled up while we do the coding part. And then this, clear that, and do a vim once. Oh, complement py. There we go. Then start it off with the bin python. All right. So for this one, it's ones complement. The ones complement of a binary number is the number obtained by swapping all the zeros for ones and all the ones for zeros. For example, call the function. So we're going to define a function like this with the parameter of a binary number, and it's actually passed in. let's see. For any given binary number formatted as a string, return the ones complement of that number. So it passes it in without the 0b. So like one of the challenges we were doing last night, it had the string part attached to it. So all right, actually let me see real quick. So if you go to that website, go to open source computer science, um, H1, that, I'm gonna take this out. So I'm just doing a little web development editing. Okay. I don't know why it does this, but here, whatever you just said in Arabic, I believe. If you look at the website now, hit refresh. I can't pull it up here because for some reason I'm still having issues um, streaming web browsers. That's why I'm doing all this in my Kali box. But yeah, if you look at the website now, it's got that Arabic thing, and then whatever Arabic I pulled from. I mean, that's just borrowed Arabic from a website explaining how to do it. So, and I can go ahead and plop this in there. So for anyone that is interested, oh gosh, why? Oh no, jeez. Sorry, I gotta there. It's just copy there, and then also go ahead and do some comments. Guess we just, oh no, 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 no. All right, so that is the HTML for displaying Arabic, if anyone's curious. Language, AR, Arabic, style, color. Oh, that's why I changed it just to show. And if you look at the website, it's in white, aligned to the right. I have no idea what it says, so apologies. I hope that's not, foul language. And whatever was just posted, I trust that that's not foul language. I guess I could throw it in a translator, but yeah. So now that's in there. Actually, maybe now that I think about it, might as well. What was that? Assalamu alaikum? Oh, alaikum salam. There you go. All right. Okay. So there's that. If you're curious, so we don't really need to have that in the one for this. So for one's complement, we're actually going to be like doing a thing, but I just wanted to put that up there. But you can easily just Google this. I don't even know what the DR directory RTL, but the lang is the important part. This is just formatting. It's inline CSS that you can put in your HTML, or you could have like a class or an ID. Uh, um, and definitely check out like W3 Schools for examples of that because they have examples of all this stuff to do like web development stuff. But yeah, that's how you do that. Also, to show you this, if you do DD, delete a whole line when you're outside of insert mode. No, we want to get back in there and we'll go ahead and do the ones complement. So let me pull that up real quick. Oh, is that peace? All right, that's what Islam means too. Literally, right? Like peace. Um, yeah. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Like how you greet and then say goodbye. Yeah. Vaya con Dios. God be with you. Anyways, so let's do. Sorry, I get really sidetracked. But I have this. The way I was doing it is, I have like my solution pulled up, kind of look off of, but I'm also like solving it again or trying to. So basically, let me just get the. Oh, and also we'll need binary number. So I think this is what's provided when you do this in code list. So you got one's complement, and then that's it. And then it says like some comment like happy coding, or whatever, but then you're supposed to fill it in from there. So basically, we're being passed a binary number and as a string. So what we can do is first we could declare a variable like return string equals that. So we'll build that. Oh, we need both the quotes, and then for char and binary number colon if char equals 0. Also, this is kind of a personal preference thing. The cool thing about Python, or one of the cool things, is you can do a single apostrophe or a single quote or a double quote. I usually do single quotes for chars. That's just kind of customary, especially in other languages, but it doesn't matter. You can do single quotes or double quotes. Just don't go changing back and forth. Like don't start with one and then change your mind and go to another one in the middle of the code, unless it's for the same thing. So anyways, so if it's a 0, return string plus equals, so you concatenate a 1. Else, and this is kind of sloppy coding, but you know that the input, I mean, we'll circle back to that here in a second. So plus equals 0. So in a perfect world, and then you want to make sure that you return string, and then to run it, we would do ones complement, and then we would send it 1001. Make sure it's the string version with the quotes, and it should spit out 0110. All right, so now this one's still messing up. All right, we'll go ahead. Should we do a new one? Oh wait, this one, new window. This one, save it. Ah, so it froze again. So we just can't have 4 of them going at once. So let's go ahead and go here, right quit. We'll leave the notes. ls. What are we even saving this as? One's complement. So we gotta go up 1. There we go. And chmod ones. Pi. Oh, that's right. Plus x, make it executable. There we go. Ah, it's because it's capital C. So case sensitive. Nope. One's complement. I. Sorry. There we go. Get rid of all that. Ignore that. So now we can do ones. It'll do the executable, and there we go. So that does it, but we need to insert, wrap it in a print statement, add the extra parenthesis. Oops. Okay, right. There we go. Now, see, we got the reverse. So that's the ones complement. We got 0110 as expected, and we could also change this. So we don't have to do, like last night I was building whole main methods and dunder checks and stuff like that, but really you just need this as long as you're calling it as a script. Yeah, so it works. But if we were to do that, then the ones complement of that is that. So if you actually like went through, in fact, we can, well, I can't really do it very well out of there. I need to know the key, the shortcut. So, um, yeah, actually, I am going to be adding these to my YouTube. My YouTube hasn't been like super popular, and it's a little harder to get stuff on. But yeah, I fully intend to do this. Every single one, I'll do a whole playlist on YouTube, and it'll have all of these. So all of these, and then also requests to a point too. So if there's a Code Wars challenge, mostly I want to focus on Code Wars for now, and then coding game eventually, because I'm going to be doing some code clashes. But And also, I'm down to collaborate on code clashes with people. Like, there's a way that you can join them around the same time. You can actually code together on stuff. So, like, coding games really cool. And also, if I add it to it, that's how I can kind of get published on the coding game site. They have like the live streams. But for that, I want to get to the point where I'm actually like doing their challenges. I briefly talked about the Thor challenge last night, which is one of the easier ones. I got it. I'm not too happy with it, but um, it's just because the coordinates are all backwards. But anyways, yeah. So that's one's complement. So I have a text file of the directions, and then I've got a working thing. And as you can see, these line up to be the ones complement. Every single one is opposite. Oh, and then what I was going to say with this, it's sloppy code because else just assumes that if it's not a zero, it's a one. So then swap it to a zero. But what if we had like Z, or just some random thing? What if they didn't follow the rules? And this is actually defensive coding. This is part of software security to a point. Like you want to make sure that you error handle for corner cases is what this would be called. So we've got, or like this specific problem would be like a cat on the keyboard, a misclick, a misenter. So you have a Z. So it's just going to put a zero because it's going to treat it as anything else. It's the default case. Whereas if you were doing safe, what's going on? Oh, I think I'm doing too much stuff. Okay. Insert elif char equals 1. Then you can ensure, and then make sure you have that colon. Then you can ensure that it would only count for this. So what this would do is this would actually leave out the z. So this would just return. In fact, let's go ahead and let's run it. Let's kind of check out and see what it's doing. Bring this up a bit. There we go. So it's without the z. Now what we could also do is, if we really want it, we could do garbage equals empty string. Then else garbage plus equals char. So this is a good catch-all case. You can name it anything: garbage, recycle, or um, non-binary, or like not. There are built-in things for like is alpha or um, yeah, is alpha or is digit, which you can do to check things. But basically, we're dealing with chars anyway, so it's not really a one and a zero. It's the ASCII character for a one and the ASCII character for a zero, which well, and actually, real quick, we could look into that. So we're in insert. Let's do print what is called ord. Um, one. Let's just do one. Quotes. Oh, yeah, and we can even do double quotes, which looks tacky to me because it's just a single char. We're doing the double ones, and then let's go ahead and yeah, we'll leave that in there. So we've got z. Oh, and also print. Uh, wait, no, we need to do it in scope. So print garbage plus garbage. So this works because you can concatenate because it's a string. You initiate it as a string, and then you create it with anything in here. And actually, to make things more interesting, let's do quite a bit of garbage because we want to really muck this. Oh, whoops. Well, okay. Insert recording at W. I don't know what it did, but let's see. So garbage, we have 0. We basically copy pasted. Yeah, whatever. So now the end. Oh, we've got special characters. So yeah, never mind. We can't be doing that. And we also got rid of something else. So print 0, 1, 1, that, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, that, and that's good. All right, so garbage plus garbage, that should be created. And then just for, oh, we also need, why Oh, quotation. I do that a lot, as you can tell. All right, so write it, and there. We've got the garbage pulled. We've got that, and the ORD returned the ASCII value of an I, or one, sorry, not an I. And the double quotes worked. So if you pull up an ASCII chart, it's really easy to do, and I do it a lot when I need it real quick. You can just search or Google or Bing ASCII chart, and you can see that one actually stands for 49. So if it's a string, um, you can also do, come on, why is it recording? I don't know what that is. Anyways, we could do single quote A, just to kind of see what that one is. 97. So if you look at an ASCII chart, you would see that the ASCII value is 97. There's also a hex value. Um, I want to say an aux value. So yeah, a bunch of different stuff for that. But this way, word is another built-in function, just like print, and that'll print the ASCII value. In fact, there are some challenges in here to do that. And also, you'll notice if you look closely, it's 0011, which you have 1100, the opposite. Then all that nonsense, and then 010, so it'd be 101. Yep. And then 101010. So right there, it did the ones complement, it cleaned out the garbage, it reported the garbage, even with a nice fancy like two-string method, or well, this would be this a part of this function. You know, let's format the garbage. You could also do like if you really wanted to get um, modular, um, show garb, or wait, no, I wouldn't even recommend doing that because it would be like making a two-string thing, but you'd also have to pass it garbage. So we have garbage here locally. We declare it here, and we assign it through the for loop, which is whatever the binary number is. So whatever we input that, we can do that. So all right, let's man, we could keep going. Let's do another one. I'll look and see. I mean, I do have about like 16 that are related challenges, but or actually move 10. Move 10's a fun one. Let's do that one. So this one, let's go ahead. Right, quit. So we got one's complement. Look and see that. Actually, we should do a make dir. Um, so, oh wait, no, this is still level one or level zero. I don't know. Or maybe stream two. Home make dir. There. All right. CD. There we go. And this, I don't know what it's doing. CD stream two. Then move 10.py. There we go. Let's do the first thing. All right, and then here, let me clear this out. Just wanted to vim move 10.txt. There we go. Insert, and so this one I am going to be dropping some code in because I mean, it's a really simple concept. Or wait, I might have already done this last night. Let's see. No? Okay, well, this is definitely one that I want to cover. So move 10, um, that. Basically, this is very similar to, I mean, if anyone's familiar with rot 13 or rotate 13, or rot n, rotate n, let's do move So this is a very, very, very basic encryption and decryption algorithm. It also is a, well, yeah, encryption decryption. That's basically the name of the game with this thing. So what I'm gonna plop in there. Let me go back to my code wars, the code that I did because this will take a while to print out. Also, before we start anything, DEF move 10. Okay, so it spelled it out 10 with ST, and that's what they give you to start. So very first thing, oh, I even have notes. So let's do a little pseudocode too. So that's where you add comments. So define dictionary and string variables for encryption, decryption. There we go. So that's that, and then we'll just leave that alone, do some variables, and then iterate through the input char encrypt. That's that section. Um, I actually have some debug statements in here. We'll go ahead and include them. And then one of my famous things I do on a lot of code you'll see is return the return string. So I call it that there, but so up here where I'm doing variables, make sure you're indented in, so one tab in. So I do return, oops, string. So this is the equals an empty string. So this is going to be built through the process of this function or this script. It's going to, the return string is built and then return. So I can also jump down here, do return string. So however I manipulate it throughout the function, it'll return whatever it's changed to. So we've got that, and now also this is the code that I'm going to borrow for myself. Whoops, where did it go? Well, first we'll do letter dict for dictionary. Then here I actually have it like that. So I think on the other ones my end bracket was like more like here. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Python's pretty smart about that. It's just the indents it freaks out about because that's how it uses, which is weird. But I mean that's just how it works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this in. See right away it's actually pretty ugly. But I've got that's what it's supposed to look like, except for or actually that makes more sense. Even though it doesn't matter in the spacing here, it still just looks cleaner. So there's that, and then also I have, and like even in this one, you have to scroll over to see the whole thing. It doesn't fit in the window. All right, I'm gonna just grab the whole thing. So got tab down, down a couple, some good space there, and very similar. So you can see it's the same length. It's got the brackets, the curly brackets there. So these are dictionaries to refer to, and then if you look at the oh, we never read the description. So move every letter in the provided string forward 10 letters through the alphabet. If it goes past Z, start again at A. Input will be a string with length greater than 0. So very basic instructions. No test cases here. So I think I can, well, we can use the decrypt dictionary as well to basically reverse it. So the concept is for every letter, like you start at A, wait a minute, AK. Oh, so it moved at 10. Sorry, I had to catch up. So I think the one that we did last night, decoding a message, that's what it was. Let's look at it. Decoding, and that's lowercase, so I'm not staying uniform. This is what I was thinking of. So it's A to Z, and then it reverses. So as A gets bigger, Z gets less, and that's the key value pair. That's what I was getting confused on. Here, it's just 10 forward. So you hard code, A goes to K, and I think it's the same, because in this one I actually have it double, but I don't know if we actually tested it to decrypt. So maybe we can do that. We can do that live here. So, but as far as my answer, So to satisfy the sorry, I'm getting into my thing. All right. So to satisfy the challenge and to pass and to get the points, you really only need this first one, the letter dictionary, because it's asking you to move every letter forward 10. That's fine. That's what this does, A to K, all that. Although I notice this one's exactly the same. So like I said, we'll have to test that and see if that actually works. So we have our dictionaries, still an insert, and now we're doing for char in ST. Return string plus equals letter. Oh wait, it's already I'm gonna change it a little bit. So that's what I had. I want to do if char in letter dict. And then I want to tab this in one more so it's included in that. So this is a little error handling that I just wanted to add in there. So if it has like a one or a number, a special character, something that's not recognized, or like a space, which is very common in messages. So we're getting a string st, so we don't know what the test cases could be. It could be any string, you know, large, it could have numbers, it could have all sorts of stuff. So if it exists in there, do that. Else, so if it's not in there, return string plus equals char. There you go. So you just cut into the chase. You're not doing anything with the dictionary. Let me go ahead and finish this. The entry for char. Because char is actually the key. So before we had a dictionary with 1, 2, and 3 as the keys, some integers. You can also do a string or a char as a key. So you can also do like basically dictionaries serve as objects too, because you can have multiple variables within it. So say you had like a car, you could have a make, model, year, color, door count, mileage. All these things can be keys that have a corresponding string or number. Like say mileage, you would have an int, and you can just have that. But here we just have every letter. So we've got 26 entries, 26 keys, 26 results, and we're doing that here. And then debug. Let's go ahead. I don't want to leave that empty. I had print st. Oh yeah, this was useful in actual Code Wars because I was failing some test cases and I wanted to see why. So I believe. Um, and don't get discouraged. If you fail some test cases on Code Wars, it's really not that big of a deal. Like I've failed everything, had complete bugs, crashes, everything. It's fine. So yeah, so we have the function, and if we wanted to test this, we would have to call it move 10. Let's see if I can find some test cases. I mean, hmm, well, it wants me to start over. So what I'm going to do, got this DOCDMKCO. Okay. Well, actually, just oh wait, never mind. I got test cases here. So, all right, here's a test case. Write it. Go up to here, clear that out. Um, so now we're doing move 10. So never mind. We want to do dot slash move move 10 dot py. Oh, we're also not in stream too. Okay. There we go. We also need the chmod plus x move 10. There we go. Clear that. Do move. Oops. And that's what we were doing last time. We made it to where we had a main function. We had like you could do input, so that was really cool. But if we just call it like this, ooh, all right. Well, there's our first test case, and it does not work. Interesting. All right. So we print string, and then we print return string. What it changed to. So D N Interesting, because this one is supposed to be. Oh wait, let me try. That's not good. Code Wars. Those might not actually be moving forward to 10. That'd be really embarrassing. Well, no, because am I calling the right? So letter dictionary. Well, they're the same, so it doesn't matter. Do that. Code Wars. Oh, right. So this isn't your traditional Rot 13. That's why that looked unexpected. So, oops. Insert test case. So literally, that is one of the test cases, the string test case. So we do that, it gets DOC, DMK, CO. Now that's what I put as input to it. And the problem with that is ROT 13, that would have worked because that's rotating by 13 numbers. So any letter in the alphabet, only because of the 26 value alphabet, if you rotate by half of it, 13, you'll get the other end of it. So, and it's circular, and that's what this is talking about right here. If it goes past Z, it loops around and starts at A. So that's the concept of a circular array. Um, but to which this dictionary just eliminates it because you're essentially hard coding every one of the 26 cases. That's why these dictionaries replace switch statements, because this is like a switch statement with 26 cases and two of them really. So the decrypt, that's why I made this. That's right, I remember now. I just submitted it and just moved on. I didn't finish doing this because this wasn't in the actual challenge. But to decrypt a message in this fashion, you would need to move it forward the complement of 10. So what is that, like 16? And so I would need to go back through and do, insert A corresponds with, and then once I figure that out, it's 16. But I'm not too worried about it. That is the actual, so that's what you would do with the decrypt dictionary. You could hard code that. Or what you could also do, this is what I did um, back in my degree. Oh, let's see, up to. I like to have the comments right next to whatever code, so it's sitting right on top of it. And everything is lined up nice and neat. So we've got our variables. Um, Now, if it was a traditional Rot 13, and also kind of why I showed this, where is it? Yeah, decoding. Oh, oh, here's how you get around this. Remember that dot dot? You can just make it go up and look at the directory above it. So there you go. Um, this is A to Z. So this is a really cool one. It's also not Rot 13, but and that's why I did this one. Is because if you get an A for input, you get a Z. And how I did that is I wrote them here above each other so I could see which one corresponds. And so this one's the alphabet backwards. This one's the alphabet forward. And so it needed 26 entries. Um, but what's interesting, if you notice, you go to Z and you actually get A back. So it is reversible, like a Rot 13 would be. So if you did this, in fact, let's go ahead and rip that off. So since I did a cat, do that. Control Shift C to copy. And in here, we're in insert mode. So go ahead and just do, you can even for reverse and forward pairing of alphabet. I don't know. I'm just kind of shooting stuff out there. So there we go. And then Control Shift V, get that. Make sure it lines up. And see right there, I did but it doesn't matter. So it's irrelevant. It's your own personal preference if you want this. And actually, I do. I do want it to line up with the what's what it's using. And also, you might notice I have a space in here. So while this does error handle for spaces as well as special characters, I actually just wanted to add that as an alternative backup way of coding it. So if you get spaces, in fact, we can go ahead and, this means we would need to do another for loop. I mean, or we could just change this to chardic, but then we would want to have test cases for this. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do it with a test case. Let's see what it would be in reverse. So let's do exit right. Let's clear this and do. We could also call it by doing a dot dot, but let's do still do move 10. All right, so that the T. So if we were to look back at this, the char dictionary, A to Z, Z to A, and everything in between. So the one on the left is the alphabet going forward. The one on the right is the alphabet going backwards, and that's why I wrote the thing down. Let's pull this back up. This, as you can see, two comments there with the space. So I wanted to make sure. So now we've got as a test case, and our output was G. So we look at T, um, T to G. So we know that's right. V, E to V. So it checks out. And then if we were to do that again, oh yeah, this is where it gets interesting. So now you can copy that, insert, paste, write it, and so we got this. That should be test case. See? So we got the jarbled stuff here, this print statement. So it's printed out the GVH whatever. That's the ciphertext. That's the encrypted message. And then based on this algorithm of the forward and reversed alphabet, we get test case back. So that's just plugging in the output as input. And so that's a good way to check programs like that. And there's actually a lot of those on here. So there's oh yeah, we've got 360 of them. So let's see. So we did move 10. I want to say we also did another one just now. Is that? Oh yeah, that one's frozen. So we're in stream 2. Yeah, we did one's complement. So we did the binary one. So let's do move one's complement dot text to um, stream 2. Move ones. Now there's only the one, so it just does the 5 to this directory, stream 2. There we go. So now cd to stream 2. There we go. We got what we did today. Also, we don't have move 10.py. Did I leave that? ls. Um, did I not do one? Huh. Or is that a level? Are they just really scattered? No. Okay. So one's complement isn't in there. But that's the one where the binary one where we switched the zeros and the ones. Hey, how's it going? Hello. Welcome to this stream. We're kind of just still going, debating on doing some more. So let me take a look at my code wars. See if there's any good. I want to see if I have like more encryption ones. Let's see. Huh. Huh. My phone's messing up. All right. Sorry. Let's see. We got one's complement. Convert to binary we did last night. That's right. So actually, yeah. So we didn't have that. Just did move 10. Trying to think of what the reverse would be. We had decrypt. Move 10 forward. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So move 10 backwards. K would be A. Insert. Then we would just do B. Oops. This is going to get sloppy. Oh, also C, X. See, it's kind of tedious. W, E, um, see, I already screwed it up there. See, so that should actually be M. That's C. So anyways, that's how you would decrypt it. I don't know if I really want to get into that. I think I'd rather, I don't know, what do you think? See? Nice. Yeah, I've done a little networking stuff, not a whole lot. And yeah, Python's my third language. I wish I would have learned it first, but it's definitely a great beginner language. That's why I'm kind of like starting with it. Well, technically I started with Java on that website. But yeah, Python's definitely really easy. And let's see. Oh, here's an easy one. Let's do get back to string two. We'll do we have move 10. Um, oh, that's not good. Huh. All right. Let me move 10 real quick. Ah, there is one. Where is it? Stream two. Quit. All right, whatever. We won't do it. I'm not sure where it is, but we'll just move on to the next one. So, not move 10. The But yeah, sentence to words. Super easy, super quick. Do that. So then sentence to words. Txt. Okay. Insert. Okay. All right. So that's the goal. Actually, I guess we could have done this. Oh, this is the move 10. Never mind. So we gotta write it, quit. Um, this one. Actually, let's just go and quit it. Keep it the same. LL. Now we have sentence words. Now we can do vim in this one. Have that pulled up. There we go. Insert. We need. And here, I'm not going to finish that. Oh, dictionary, sorry. So then sentence to words dot py. All right, and insert. There we go. And let's see. So actually, we'll do. Well, so let's take a look at the challenge. So write function split sentence, which will create a list of strings from a string. Example, hello world. Oh yeah, we didn't actually go into the list variables. So that's another kind of object that's very useful. Let's see. So, but to do this, it is, well, it's just split, a built-in function. So we have, oops, insert, no, okay, df, we're doing, oh, we don't need this super long. in the window. So we want the function to be split sentence. And that's camel case. So we'll actually do Python case or snake case. So split sentence, string, and then we'll just return string dot split, and that's a built-in function that separates it. And here we gotta do print split sentence. Oh, it doesn't function. Okay. All right. Also, we need to chmod plus x sentence, 2 words, Python. We can run it. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, that parenthesis again. Okay, clean that up. There we go. So that's what a list looks like. It's got the square brackets, and it is an array or a grouping of variables. This one's a list of strings, and this the split method or the split function, by default will split a string on spaces. So notice the exclamation point got sucked up into that. And there are different ways to do that a little more cleanly. Um, yeah, so there's that. Cool. All right. And I think almost an hour and a half. I think that's pretty good for now. Thanks for everyone for coming by. I think I'm going to take a break, go get some food, maybe go play some video games. But that's really the introduction to Linux. And um, if we went back to that, let's see, ls. In notes, so CD level. There you go. So cat notes. That's what we were doing. Wanted to finish Linux and Python, and then we also did CD there, CD string two, there, two, three codes. So we did move 10, one's complement, and sentence to words. So these are spoilers. Um, Definitely don't just go copy and code. But of course, the cool thing with Code Wars is you can look at other people's answers. And I'm by no way an expert, so these are just like maybe mid-level, like between beginner and mid-level, I'd say, codes. But like a lot of these can be done like a lot cleaner, but it's not as easy to understand. So I like to write them out a little bit. Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of examples off the top of my head, but there are challenges out there that can be like little one-line singers and looks really clever. In fact, they have a clever rating in Code Wars, which is fun, worth checking out. But yeah, no, I think my phone crashed. All right, but yeah, like I said, that's probably good for a stream now. I might stream some video games or maybe do some more coding later on. But thank you to the new followers. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Um, Always a pleasure to have you. Yeah, I just like to explain this stuff. If you have any coding questions and you see me on next, just feel free to ask. Like, I can't really do people's homework for them, but definitely if you want to bounce ideas or maybe just get like a little more input on things, there's definitely an art to it because I mean you want to be able to actually like really help people. So I would actually try to explain it the best I could to where you'd understand it, not just give you the answers. So, all right, well, I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.